Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. So we are starting with a new series of LWC. We'll get to know about various different topics. So this is our part 1 of the LWC series. Here we will learn about how we can bind data into our HTML code from JS. So this is local data binding. We'll learn about attributes and data binding. So what are properties or what are attributes? Attributes or properties are nothing but they are variables defined in the LWC component. There can be different types of properties. Say string, integer, boolean, or we can have an undefined variable or object. So we can have multiple different types of variables or properties in LWC. Now let's go through an example to understand more about the usage of the properties. Here we have a sample component. So if we go to our HTML and try to print text over here, so let's see how it renders on our org. So this is our org which we have kept ready. Now let us deploy the component on our page. So we have the component over here. Now let's save it. So we have the hello world printed over here. Right now what we have done is outputted the text over here and we did not use any variables. It's simply printing out what we have written over here. Now let us understand what are variables. So let's say I create a variable called name and I give a value over here as Salesforce Supercharge. So this is a string kind of variable. We can have multiple different variables like boolean, we can have a integer variable, or we can simply have a undefined variable. So if we do not assign any value to any variable, it is undefined by default. So we have defined a variable, but how are we going to use this particular variable into our HTML to get a dynamic value every time we make any changes over here? For that, we have an curly braces and we just need to put in our variable name over here. So we have a name variable and we just need to put in the name variable in the curly braces. This is how the data is binded in LWC. This is a one-way binding process and LWC does not support two-way binding. We just need to place our attributes in a curly braces and LWC will take care of the rest. The component has been deployed. Now let us go and see what happens. So as we can see, the hello world has been replaced with Salesforce Supercharge. It is coming from the name attribute over here. Now if we add another attribute alongside name, now we can see age as well, which is value is 12. Let's refresh it. So we can see 12 as well over here. This is how data binding works in LWC. So this is our JavaScript variable and this is how it can be used into the HTML code. There are a few points which we need to note. So the JavaScript variables can be primitive or an object type. For object type, we can use dot notation to access the attributes of the object. We cannot compute expressions in order to render. For example, we cannot do 5 plus 5 into the curly braces and expect the output to be 10. So it does not work over here. This we need to take care of it. We will see how we can do the expressions in the later coming videos. And one of the best practices which we have is to avoid spaces between the curly braces and the variable name. So this was our first video about data binding. Thank you. Stay tuned for more videos.